How you doing, everybody? I'm Keith Combs with Trophy Bass Guide Service. Well, we've just got off the water down here at Lake Amistad. It's April 29th. We had a pretty good day, caught a lot of fish. It's been a real mixed up day with the weather. We had a real windy day. Made it kind of tough to get out on some of the deeper stuff. Kind of a rainy, stormy morning. But the day was pretty good. Kind of overview of the day. We probably caught 30-35 fish today. The biggest one maybe 3.5 pounds. The fish are in several different patterns right now. We're catching a lot of fish that are moving out off the bank, moving into deeper water. A lot of them are relating to inside grass lines, say in 13 to 15 foot of water. We caught some of those today on Texas rig, Senko type bait, and there's still a lot of fish that are still deeper than that. We didn't fish for those today because of the wind, but a lot of the big fish still haven't moved shallow. But within the next few months, we're going to have a lot of big fish come in to spawn still. There's going to be a good spawn down here in May. There's going to be a lot of big fish that stay shallow throughout the summer down here because the grass and the brush is so good this year, the lake being full. But we'll be back later on this summer and do another episode here. And you know, I expect to really catch some big fish that time. They kind of eluded us today, but we had a good time out here on the water. And I'll see you next time. Well, that's the first one of the morning. It's caught him on a little green pumpkin Senko. Pretty much a standard here on Amistad to throw that. Good healthy fish. Just dragging it through the grass about 15 foot on the inside grass line. Hopefully we can get some bigger than that. I think we can. This wasn't too aggressive when he hit it either, and that's the second bite. I lost that first fish, but you know, usually they'll hit this Texas rig, you know, pretty hard. You'll get a solid thunk like that. And those two fish, and they might have been small ones, they just kind of started running with it. So should get better as the day goes on. Water warms up a little bit. Where the fish hit it, he just ran sideways when I got the slack out of my line. Not real big, but man, they sure do pull. You can tell by the coloration of the fish, you know, that they're in the grass. Most of these fish are post-spawn. You can kind of see a little film on him, you know, where he just came off the bed and leaned up, but they're starting to bite again. Big ones at? Little ones are all over this thing this morning. What size to them? Oh man, he's about the size of my jerkbait. Amazing how the smallest fish always get all three hooks in. Well, still biting in the rain. First one, decent fish on a jerkbait there. thought the weather was kind of going to cool up, but it looks like it's kind of gotten worse on us. But pretty good for fishing anyway. And that one really took the bait good. He's got it everywhere. These fish out here really dial into a long pause on a jerkbait. You know, you can come next to one of these bushes and just let the jerkbait sit. Give it a couple of hard snaps to the rod and get their attention. Just let it sit there for a second, and you know, they'll come out and attack it. And when they do, you know, they usually get all the hooks in them. So that's a good thing about a jerkbait is you don't lose that many fish on it. Once you get them hooked, they're yours. And I want to keep this one in the fish and not in me, so I'm going to take my time with him. Let me give up the fish. Jerkbait fish. Every one about the same size, you know, about 2.5 pounds, occasional 3-pounder. You know, on Amistad, you never know what your next fish will be. Could be a 7, could be a 10, could be a 12, who knows, but sure catch a lot of fish out here this time of year. And they all look good. You know, they're just the perfect bass. Another one of those. Boy, they are hooked too. I'd love to throw a jerkbait out here. You gotta be so careful you don't end up with one of these hooks in your finger, though. It happens several times. You know, you're taking them out and they'll shake and they'll sure get you. Here we go. See if we can throw back out there and get one of his friends. There's two just like him. There's one. Here's a little butterfish. I thought he was a little butterfish. He really got his head down for a second there and pulled. They're all about the same, you know. 2 pounds is normal, 2.5 some, but we're going to sneak up on a big one here pretty soon. You know, throwing this jerkbait is one of the probably most effective ways to catch fish and cover water there are on this lake, because it'll draw a strike from so far away. You know, you can fish it in 2 foot, you can fish it in 30 foot, and probably get a fish to come, you know, 40, 50 feet, probably even to take a bait. You know, when you jerk it, it puts out such a side-to-side motion and a flash that's going to draw them to it. And this particular model is a suspending model, which I throw most of the time out here. And when it sits there, after they've seen that flash, they just see that bait suspending there in the water, and they'll come up to it, and the next little twitch of the rod, they'll take it. So. Somebody has caught that fish before and released him. You can see the hook mark still. He's round. You know, most every fish is hitting it on the paws, and a real big key to the way I'm working the bait is when I'm popping it on a slack line. Like a lot of people tend to, once they start to throw a jerk bait, they're gonna just, I'll tell them to jerk and pause the bait, and they'll just keep a steady pressure on the line, and they won't get the best action out of that bait. What I like to do is jerk it and let it pause on a slack line. What that's going to do is going to allow it to come down and shoot to one side, leave a little slack in your line, it'll shoot to the other side when you jerk it again. So you want to leave a little bit of slack in your line and kind of watch the line, watch the bow on the line for movement. You know, when a fish hits it, you'll know. So that's a couple of little pointers you might want to keep in mind. I use a rod that has a pretty fast action, or a rod that's got a lot of tip. This is a power tackle. It's a PG 143. It's a 6-foot 10-inch rod, so it lets me throw it a long ways, which is important in this clear water. You know, very easy to retrieve. But generally, you know, a jerk pause retrieve is one of the best things. We're not letting it pause a long time today. We're trying to cover a lot of water, and the fish are pretty active. But sometimes when it's colder, you might actually want to let it pause for maybe 2 to 5 seconds. So, you know, again, just keep mixing up till the fish tell you what they want. But you know, come into your jerks on a slack line and let it sit. You catch a lot of jerkbait fish.